on that infield for the Rangers as they get on back to Arlington. The Rangers found Fenway and new Yankee Stadium very much to their liking. I think a lot of people figured 2 and 4 would be just fine. 3 and 3 was even better on that road trip. The Rangers went on that road trip, Mr. Grieve, at 4.5 games up. They came back from that road trip exactly the same, 4.5 ahead of the LA Angels.
Yeah, and I think when you go to those two cities and you come back even like that, it's a plus, not breaking even.
Now it's the Toronto Blue Jays, and they were a team that started out real well this year. They have now lost, however, 13 out of 18. Southwest Airlines starting lineup for Cito Gaston's guys: Marco Scudero and Aaron Hill, Alex Rios and the Arlington native Vernon Wells, and Adam Lind, Scott Rowland, Lyle Overbase been a hot hitter. Kevin Millar and former Ranger Rob Barajas rounded out against the native of Hawaii, although he grew up in San Francisco. That is Scott Feldman.
He's 5-0 this season. Overall, his ERA is .379, much better as a starter. He's allowed 3 earned runs or fewer in each of his 8 starts. Wednesday at New York, he won the one game that the Rangers won at Yankee Stadium with a strong performance. Pitched into the 7th inning. Gave up 5 hits, a couple of runs. One interesting statistic on Scott: he's had 8 starts, and in every start that he's had, he's given up fewer hits than innings pitched in each start. He's been tough to hit.
And he's not been hurting himself either. He's averaging only 2 walks per game. And again, he's got a chance to become only the 5th Ranger ever to get out 6-0. And the first since Esteban Loaiza in 1999. Which, of course, was the last time the Rangers went to the postseason, was 1999. That one is outside to Marco Scudero, who's been doing nothing but getting on base, it seems, for these Toronto Blue Jays. Saw a stat today, Tag. He's been on base 110 times already. Only Albert Pujols has been on base more than that right now in the major leagues at 111.
Yeah, I think you have to look at Scudero and say he's one of the biggest surprises in baseball this year. He's only made 1 error, and offensively he's been terrific. Tied for 2nd in walks, 1st in runs, 9th in on-base percentage. I think a guy that has probably been looked at for a lot of his career as a real nice guy to have on a team. Maybe a guy that's a utility player, can play all over. But he's established himself, at least through a third of this season, as a frontline everyday shortstop. Good for him.
Well, kind of like Ron Washington. He had to get out of Oakland to prove that he belonged as an everyday guy. And again, congratulations to the Ranger manager, Ron Washington. His option was picked up. He's been extended through next year. Wash in his 3rd year as a Ranger manager. He will be around for a 4th. Strike 3 called to Scudero. And a real nice way to start the homestand. Not so much for Cito Gaston as the Blue Jays begin the road trip. San Antonio native Cito Gaston.
Pitches all over the place. The last one is close enough to the strike zone to be a strike, in the vicinity of the strike zone. Scudero's got a great eye at the plate. Technically, that pitch wasn't a strike. It was pretty close to the strike zone. So if you're Scudero, you actually eyeballed it and didn't get the call.
Overcast and 90 degrees as we get going tonight. Aaron Hill takes high. Aaron Hill's had an interesting year. He started out doing all kinds of great things, but lately he's 1 for 28. The one hit was a home run yesterday.
That's pretty good. He's 1 for 28, and he's still tied for the league lead in hits.
He gave himself some wiggle room. 1 for his last 29 now. When we check the Rangers defense, it's a defense that's going to be without Josh Hamilton, we have learned, for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Murphy, Bird, and Cruz in the outfield. Young, Andrews, Kinsler, and Davis in the infield. Saltalamacchia working with Scott Feldman tonight. They're stopping short of calling it hernia surgery, although it's kind of that area, that abductor area. Josh in Philly having that surgery, we believe, this afternoon. He should be done and resting now. Sometimes that kind of surgery, when it's the more serious brand of that surgery, kind of like the kind that Ian Kinsler had, that's more of an 8 to 12 week variety, but apparently this one is 4 to 6 weeks. Grounded to short off the bat of Rios, and Elvis Andrus will guide it across to make it a 1-2-3 top of the first. Kinsler, Young, and Blaylock coming up. No score. Blue Jays in town, and the Blue Jays went in order in the top of the first inning. Now, against Casey Janssen, three guys who have homered off Casey Janssen in the past go back to back to back. Leading off for the Rangers tonight is Kinsler, Michael Young, and Hank Blaylock. Nelly Cruz and David Murphy, then Bird and Davis, Saltalamacchia and Andrews. Casey Janssen, who has missed plenty of time due to injury over the last couple of years. Apparently he is healthy again, and here he is facing Kinsler.
His numbers reflect only 3 starts, 17 innings. His ERA is relatively high. Had a pretty good start against the Red Sox, though. He beat them 7 innings, 3 runs. Missed all of 08 with a torn labrum. 5 career games against Texas haven't gone very well. He's had kind of an interesting big league career, short one so far, but in 06 he had 17 starts. In 07 he had 70 relief appearances. 2.35 ERA. Only gave up 4 home runs in 72 innings. Missed all of 08, and now he's back in the rotation.
High drive up into the overcast here from Ian Kinsler. 1 up, 1 down, bottom 1. Toronto defensively goes with Lind, Wells, and Rios out there in the outfield. Roland, Scooter, O'Hill, and Overbay round the horn, and you'll recognize the catcher. That's Rob Barajas. Spent a couple quality years as a Ranger.
Well, the Rangers have obviously improved their defense significantly. They've gone from the bottom to the upper, probably quarter of defensive teams in the American League. Toronto is right near the top 2. They're second in fielding percentage. And if you go around their team position by position, they've got a lot of really solid defensive players.
They got a lot of pitchers who induce ground balls, so that's not a bad thing to have in the infield, kind of like the Rangers. If you're going to pitch to contact, make sure you've got guys that can scoop it up. One thing you'll notice about Jansen, he's one of those spin the baseball guys. Every time he gets ready, he will shield the baseball with that big glove. And then it's just kind of surfing for the right channel, so to speak. He just kind of spins that baseball around, round and round and round and round, until he gets what he likes. And he strikes out Michael Young.
So far, you like his slider, at least to Michael. There's some really good sliders.
Michael had the home run yesterday, his first in 28 ball games. And a real nice win for the Rangers yesterday, top to bottom. I think every element of their game was clicking yesterday in that 6-3 win.
Yep, they got nice pitching in the ball game for sure. Vicente Padilla was terrific. The bullpen came in and closed out the game without Frankie Francisco. That was solid. They hit the long ball. I don't know that they've had a game all season long where they hit the ball better than they did yesterday. They've had some games where they scored a lot more runs than that. But as far as hitting the ball on a good part of the bat, they did that all game long, whether they were hits or outs.
Blaylock is out. The Rangers are down in order. No score at the end of one. Tonight we go to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you very much, Josh. I got Josh Collier of Promise House in the house tonight, and they're having a good time, right? Yes, they are. Promise House, non-stop shop for teenagers in crisis, right, Josh?
That is correct. For over 25 years now, we have embraced homeless, runaway, and at-risk teens, giving them the needed support, encouragement, and hope to live a better life. And we are so grateful for the support of the Texas Rangers, in particular Chris Davis, who's recently come into the lives of our team, and just want to say thank you so much for all of your support.
All right, real quick, for those who want to get involved, what do they need to do?
Simply go to our website at promisehouse.org and click on any of the links there to get involved, whether it's being a volunteer, becoming a donor, becoming more involved in the lives of our teams. We'll be more than happy to take you guys.
All right, Josh, well, there you go. Nice to meet you. All right, appreciate it. All right, let's go Rangers, huh? There you go, Josh.
Awesome organization. Thank you, guys. Chris, very active with those guys right now. Arlington's Vernon Wells. He's had kind of a weird year. He's hitting 172 at home, but about twice that on the road. And it levels out at a .254 batting average for the season. 5 home runs, 28 runs batted in. They're hoping for more out of Vernon, and he is certainly capable of more. He's going to draw a walk right here. First base runner of the game. Toronto has lost 9 straight on the road and 13 out of 18 overall. The shine is kind of off their star a little bit, I'd suggest to you, Tag. They were the Rangers style darlings of the AL East for a while.
Yeah, you know, even though they went through a little bit of a tough stretch, they lost 8 or 9 games in a row. They're still 5 games over and only 2.5 games out, so they're still hanging right in there. They had a lot of injuries to their pitching staff. Some of those guys throughout the season will be coming back, so they can hang in there. You know they're going to win every 5 days with Roy Halladay, and in a big series with him on the mound, it's tough to get swept. And really, I don't think they've started to hit the way they're capable of hitting. They've had some pretty good offense early in the season. They hit for average. Runs-wise, they're about even with the Rangers. But if the guys that have hit well continue and Vernon Wells and Alexis Rios get hot, then they can really score some runs.
Lind is going to check his swing. Yes, he did check his swing. Now the Blue Jays 2.5 out right now in the AL East. Check your Jack-in-the-Box standings.
Toronto leads the league in doubles. They also lead the league in grounding into double plays. They've scored almost the exact same amount of runs as the Rangers.
There's a high fly ball off the bat of Adam Lind, and racing back on it, Nelly Cruz at the bullpen. It is gone. That's a good-looking young hitter right there. Adam Lind hits his 10th of the year. It was with Vernon Wells running. It's just the 4th home run Feldman's allowed as a starter. It is 2-0 Toronto.
Well, early in the game, Scott hasn't found his groove yet. That pitch is a changeup, but it's right down the middle of the plate. You get it up to right field, you got a pretty good chance today. That ball jumped out of here. It's unlike Scott to walk the leadoff hitter. In this case, Vernon Wells. And it's unlike him to leave a pitch right in the middle of the plate like that.
And the Indiana native Adam Lind muscles one out. Another Indiana native coming up right now, Scott Rowland. From outside of Evansville, Don Mattingly's hometown. Now, Tag, you were talking about Roy Halladay and what he means to the Blue Jays. The Rangers did beat Halladay this year. That's the only game Halladay has lost. He is 10-1. He's already got 100 innings pitched a third of the way through the season. That's by far the highest total in either the AL or the NL. Halladay, a guy who's gone 7 innings at least in every one of his starts so far, all 13 of them. Last American leaguer to do that, Roger Clemens in 1992. That complete game he had yesterday, didn't even need 100 pitches for that one. Beat the Royals yesterday, shut him out. Two-two to Rowland. He is down and away, and as we've talked about, Halladay is the one starter for the Blue Jays that the Rangers will just happen to miss in this 4-game series.
Well, you know, over a 4-game series, you've gotten some good fortune if that's the case. Early in the season, the Rangers were getting everybody's best pitchers, but they missed Sabathia in New York, and they'll miss Halladay today in this series. Although I'm not sure who you'd rather face. And the Yankees staff, A.J. Burnett, pitched pretty well against the Rangers. Might rather face Sabathia than A.J. Burnett.
Long at bat continues for Rowland. He's simply a guy that's had a tough time staying healthy over the last few years, but a talented, powerful guy. Feldman brings the 3-2 pitch, and we're going to have another one of those. Feldman getting close to 30 pitches already. Rowland's just the 6th batter he's facing tonight. Finally puts one in play. Kinsler coasting back. He couldn't hold it. It's kind of an unusual opportunity for Kinsler. He had to be backing up, following the flight of the ball, keeping his feet under him.
Well, Rowland hits this ball right off the end of the bat. Probably had a little bit of spin on it. It's just a little blooper. Ian gets turned around a little bit, keeping his eye on it, but just a little bit over his glove.
Now the hottest hitter they've got, Lyle Overbay, has just been named the Player of the Week from this past week in the American League. What does one get for that? A watch still? Is that still the prize?
Couldn't tell you. Never won that award.
Never once, really? You ever the Player of the Day? That would be
I might have been the Player of the Day a couple times.
Player of the Week for Lyle Overbay. I think it is a watch. Overbay's got 19 runs batted in his last 20 games. So over the last 3 weeks, actually, things have been going very well for him. Runner goes. Saltalamacchia fires. He got him at second base.
Well, that's something you look forward to right there. Scott's struggling right now with his command early in the game, trying to find it. And you'll take that right there. I don't know if that was a straight steal or a hit and run that Overbay missed, but Rowland, at this stage of his career, you wouldn't call him a above average runner.
Yeah, my guess is that's a hit and run that Overbay missed. Would be my my theory. There's a base hit, sure enough, now right after that for Lyle Overbay.
Anytime you get a chance to get it out on the bases when you're struggling, you'll take it. And the way Salty's been throwing, he was more than up to the challenge. The Rangers had 3 outs on the bases against the Red Sox for Padilla. Big Papi, I still don't have any idea what he was trying to do yesterday, but they gunned him down. Gunned a runner stealing. That was Euclid. Well, no, they picked Euclid off second base and
right.
Gunned a runner down stealing. Good game for Vicente yesterday.
And for the Rangers, who got their first series win in Boston since 1997. Strike one to Kevin Millard.
You never know exactly how the radar guns compare in different parks. Whether in Boston and New York the radar guns were a little high, who knows? Whether they're a little low here, who knows? But Scott's velocity compared to New York is just down a little bit, is kind of struggling through the first couple of innings.
Nothing to do with the Canadian exchange rate.
I don't think so.
No.
Nothing to do with the metric system either.
That ball yanked foul by Millard. Rangers have already made their one trip to Toronto this year. Some years the Rangers go twice. This year it's only once. You did get rid of all your Canadian money, yes?
I did. Went to check out, paid my bill, gave them all the Canadian money I had, and then paid for the rest with my credit card. It's a good system.
Perfect. Nothing worse than coming home with a bunch of Canadian change, because you don't even notice that it is Canadian change, and you go to give somebody, 2 quarters. One's American, one's Canadian. They call you on it, and you're out of luck. Infield hangs a double play depth. And there is a tailor-made double play ball. 4-6-3 DP to get Feldman off the mound and out of the inning. After the 2-run homer by Adam Lind and some more intrigue after that, a double play gets the Rangers back to the plate. Nothing on a day that Ron Washington has had that contract extended. Nolan Ryan met the media before the game.
Ron is a baseball man, has been in the game and knows the game inside and out. So that wasn't part of the issue. It's when you look at a manager, you look at how he handles his ball club and how his club responds to him, and we're quite pleased with that.
Really an active day all the way around for the Rangers. They had that press conference and then the news coming that Josh Hamilton needed the surgery. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Then the Brandon McCarthy news soon after that. And boy, that's a real disappointment tag for the Ranger fans just kind of rolling up to the broadcast now tonight. That same injury with the clavicle, the stress fracture from a couple of years ago for McCarthy is resurfaced, and there's really no timetable yet for McCarthy. All we know is he's going to be out for a while.
Yep, I'm going to try rest and see if it responds. And you certainly feel badly for the Rangers rotation, but more than that, you feel badly for Brandon for all the work that he put in the offseason, the progress he's making, how well he's throwing this year, the direction that his starting career was heading. Just a shame to have that happen right now. Couldn't happen at a worse time.
So the Rangers soldiering on without one of their starters and without the guy that led the American League in runs batted in from a year ago. Nelson Cruz, who's been picking up a lot of the slack, is going to arc one to right. And that is out number 1. One of the things you Twitter types would possibly like to tweet about it. Twitter.com/FS Southwest. Your thoughts on what the Rangers are going to need to do over the next few weeks to hold it all together. I think one of the things that's a positive tag, I mean, over the next 4 weeks, the Rangers are playing only 6 games on the road. 19 out of 25 games now coming up at home.
Well, the Rangers have played well at home. They're 18-9 at home, and they're 15-14 on the road. That's pretty good. Blue Jays are really good at home. They're 21-10, but the Blue Jays are only 11-17 on the road. Really, the difference between the Blue Jays and the Rangers is the Rangers, at least so far, their ability to play well on the road, and the Blue Jays' inability to play well on the road.
Yet in a short sample tonight, 2-0 Blue Jays. Rangers still looking for their first base runner tonight against Casey Janssen. Janssen was a high school teammate of C.J. Wilson's back in Southern California. They were a year apart. C.J. 1 grade ahead of Casey Janssen at Fountain Valley High School in Southern California. The battling Barons of Fountain Valley. And Janssen, you know, I think the weird thing about his stat line this year, Tag, the fact that he's now pitched into a 19th inning. He's only got 5 strikeouts, but
I think you look for him to get better as the season goes on. He didn't pitch at all last year.
Murphy wails away on one, drives it to center field. Vernon Wells can't get it. Murphy to second base. He has got himself a 1-out double.
The Rangers hit a lot of balls yesterday that were run down, a couple of them by Jacoby Ellsbury in center field. Nice to see a hard hit ball not get caught by an opponent's outfielder. David put a charge in that ball to dead center field. Wells got back, actually gets, I don't think he was going to get a glove on it. Just touched it off the tip of his glove, it looked like. Couldn't quite get to it. If he did touch it at all, it just went right off the tip of his glove.
Murphy came close to having a 4-hit game yesterday, sending rockets all around Fenway.
Janssen in relief in 2007 before he got hurt. Had a .235 ERA, pitched really well. Then he was out all last season, just getting back in the swing of things right now. And so his stats don't look great right now. He hasn't had a lot of strikeouts. He pitched a good game against the Red Sox. In fact, that's his 1 win, 7 innings, 3 runs. And watching him pitch in this game, it looks like he's got a really good slider and a good curveball.
Marlon Byrd tags one to right. That ball taking off, but it's caught at the Southwest Airlines sign by Rios.
All Marlin had to do is get that up in the air a little bit, but he hit it on a line, and Rios was able to get back and snag it. Good pitch to hit. He hit it hard, but right to Rios.
It'll bring up Chris Davis. And Tag, I know that batting practice doesn't always translate into game, but what a show Chris Davis put on around 4:30 this afternoon. I'm talking halfway up, a couple of them, I kid you not, 2/3 of the way up in the upper deck in right field.
It doesn't count, but it can give you confidence coming into a game.
Off speed to start off Chris Davis. Some of the ones that he hit, I mean, for a while, they just kind of floated up right near that overhang, that triangular overhang underneath the scoreboard. And you're thinking, no, there's no way. Nobody's ever going to hit that. Then they kind of settled down about, I don't know, maybe 10 rows under that. And still, it was a very impressive show. Someday, I don't know who, I don't know how, someday, somebody will hit one.
It stands to reason he plays for the Rangers, too, and that would be Josh Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's who's going to do it.
But I don't know that that's reachable. I saw Mo Vaughn hit one in batting practice during the All-Star game in 1995 that looked like it was going to hit it. And you really, from here, you can't tell. You'd have to be either underneath it or to the side of it to see how close it actually came. You can obviously hit one that high, but the top of that roof doesn't hang out over the field like it did at Tiger Stadium. Otherwise, it already would have been hit. It's back quite a way, so not only do you have to hit it high, you've got to hit it a long way.
Davis does have a dozen home runs this year, playing for the team that leads the majors in home runs hit. This one, however, is a strikeout. The Rangers strand Murphy. At the end of 2, it's Toronto 2, and the Rangers nothing. By Geico Insurance, where 15 minutes can save you 15% on car insurance. Also by AT&T. Switch to the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. And by Corona, official sponsor of the timeout. The Rangers are back home after a 3-3 road trip to 2 very perilous places. They went to New York and Boston and emerged reasonably unscathed. Still with that 4.5 game lead they had a week and a half ago. Former Ranger Rod Barajas against current Ranger Scott Feldman. These guys used to play catch with each other, 60 feet 6 inches apart. By the way, Tag, before I forget, a very happy birthday wish tonight to a great Rangers fan, a young Rangers fan, Wills Myers, turning 8. The big 8. So a very happy birthday from your Ranger friends. Barajas cranking one into right center field, and there's Nelly Cruz. It curled right at him.
That's a pretty good pitch right there to hit on the line. Fortunately, Nelly was there to catch it. Ball looked like it was about 6 inches off the ground. Let's see if it was 6 inches off the ground. No, maybe a foot.
No Ranger has ever been 7-0. At some part of the season, some point in the season, Feldman is at 5-0 right now. And again, a very short list of guys that have even been to 6-0. Scotty trying to get to be in that fraternity with a win tonight. Gets his second shot at Marco Scutaro. And again, Nelly Cruz is on the run. This time it's a base hit for Scutaro. Toronto's got the most hits in the American League, but as you said, Tag, also the most double plays hit into. And we'll see if Scott Feldman can get Aaron Hill to chop one on the ground somewhere.
Yeah, they're #1 in average, #5 in runs. Coming into the game, just 1 run ahead of the Rangers. And as we've already kind of alluded to, that's without a hot start from Vernon Wells, and really not a hot start from Alexis Rios either. They're 2 middle of the order guys. So if those guys get hot, their offense could really gel.
Aaron Hill, who played for the Rangers in high school, the Redwood Rangers in Visalia, California. And as we always seem to do, Tag, at least once every series, we look at all the second basemen in the American League and go, man, that is some kind of stacked position right now. The Rangers love having Kinsler. And just the way the Ranger fans have taken to Ian at second base in Toronto, they are totally digging Aaron Hill.
Yeah, it probably is the case. 5 or 6 teams in the league wouldn't trade their second baseman for anyone else's.
That Kinsler and Andrews double play combination has been very good. The Rangers have turned 53 double plays this year. They've only hit into 25. And that actually kind of makes sense. The Rangers don't hit all that many ground balls. They hit fly balls, line drives, and truth be told, they strike out a lot too. In fact, the Rangers have struck out 161 more times than their opponents have. That's about 3 times more per game. Right now, the Rangers with that record of 33-23. Only the Yankees have as good a record in the American League right now. That ball hammered in the left. David Murphy gliding, and he's got it.
This kind of is like the ultimate hanger right there. In fact, it hung so much that Hill really couldn't do a whole lot with it. He hit it pretty well. Fortunately, it was right at David Murphy, but this breaking ball just stays way up. That's a high curveball. And actually, Scott's lucky it wasn't about a foot lower. It would have been belt high then. And Hill timed the swing pretty good. It just, the pitch was out of the strike zone to the point where he really couldn't really juice it very well. So Scott still laboring a little bit to find his command, to get the movement on his cutter and his two-seamer, working on his curveball a little bit. Pitch counts up there. command, not quite what we've seen from Scott in most of his starts, but pretty tough to go out there every single time and have your best stuff. A night like this is when a pitcher gets the chance to see if he can get the other guys out without his best stuff.
Well, if you're a competitor, that's actually kind of a cool little challenge. That ball popped towards the Ranger dugout. Davis leading, and look out. He is met by Jackie Moore.
Jackie's thinking, man, I've been around this game too long to get hit off the head by a ball. But he wasn't backing away. He knew where the ball was. Just didn't expect to get manhandled by Chris Davis. And Chris is hanging on just to make sure Jackie doesn't fall off that ledge. Boy, that ball came flying right back, right to the edge of the top of the dugout.
Ground ball right off the bag, and well played by Michael Young. Kind of a crazy carom, but he was ready for it. And Toronto turned away. It stays 2-0. Wednesday, it's a $1 hot dog night, also a Dr. Pepper autograph Wednesday. Rangers players and coaches signing autographs out in the concourse between 5:30 and 6 o'clock p.m. 972 Rangers, the number to call to get your tickets. They're salty with a bunt, surprising everybody, but
well, all he had to do was bunt it fair, and he would have had a base hit. Roland was way over toward shortstop, so it's not a bad idea. Leadoff hitter,
and a
trying
guy
to get on base.
Right, a guy that's been slumping too. 1 for his last 12, with 8 strikeouts during that time. So not a bad idea at all.
Looks like the shortstop, but that actually is the third baseman. So you really don't have to make a perfect bunt. You can almost bunt like a sacrifice bunt. If you get it down the line past the pitcher, you will have a base hit. Playing a little shallower now, so it might not be quite as easy to do, although he's backing up.
Jansen missing outside. Rangers trailing 2-0 on a home run by Adam Lind. That's not a bunt. That's pretty good swing right there. That ball travels to the track and dives there. 1 out, bottom 3. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Josh. Lower home run porch. I tell you what, the North Dallas Chamber Baseball League in the house tonight, about 1,100 strong. You guys having a good time, huh? Who's the best player in the league? Everybody. What about the biggest Ranger fan, huh? All right, let's hear it then.
All right, guys, you ready? Let's go, Rangers!
Keep that up the whole game, but these guys having a nice time. 1,100 strong, as well as their families out here in Lower Home Run Force, Josh and Tom.
All game long, huh?
All game long. We're going to keep them going.
Let's go Rangers! Let's go Rangers! Let's go Rangers!
All right, so far,
So good.
All right, we'll go back to them later. Want to know the count to Elvis Andrews. Elvis chopping it towards short. And Elvis is out. Elvis had a real good time playing at Fenway. He was telling anybody that asked him. And I think one of the things he really liked is how the fans were getting on him. Elvis seems like he responds to that. And he said there was one guy in Boston kept yelling, "Hey, rookie," at him. And any time that Elvis would even turn around even a little bit, he had some stat that wasn't quite right, but it was something like, what do you got, like 4 steals? What are you hitting, like 240, rookie? They moved Michael Young for that? Come on. And Elvis just had the big smile going, knew it was all part of the game.
That same fan wouldn't be saying that if he had a Red Sox uniform. They'd be pretty happy to have him.
Now, Elvis had a really solid road trip, and those are 2 tough places for a 20-year-old to be playing. That pitch inside to Kinsler. The Rangers being 1 hit so far. That 1 hit, a double to deep center by David Murphy. In the air towards center. And drop it in for a base hit for Ian Kinsler. The big swing that might have fooled the right fielder Rios and the center fielder Wells. Neither man got a real good start on it.
Yeah, and I don't think it would have mattered because they're, with 2 outs, they're playing a little bit deeper. They're playing Ian out there pretty well. And that's just kind of a no man's land. I think Hill had the best chance to get it. And as you can see, even he couldn't get to it.
Well, the Rangers get the tying man to the plate. Former Toronto prospect Michael Young. Very happily Ranger property now. He's going to check and take a strike. Michael, as usual, hitting very well in his home ballpark this year. About 370 here in Arlington. And a scorcher caught at second base. Aaron Hill reaching out and robbing Michael Young of what looked like a base hit up the middle. So, now at the end of 3. Toronto 2 and the Rangers nothing. With the Aflac trivia question now. Who did Texas trade to Toronto for Michael Young? We're talking about the Michael Young trade that was made in July of the year 2000. And the Blue Jays have been running through all kinds of different permutations of second baseman and shortstops and third baseman. Those are all positions, obviously, that Michael can play very well. And Vernon Wells, one of his best friends in the world. They were minor league roommates for a while. They were in each other's weddings. The families are very close. Up through the ranks together. St. Catharines, Ontario, Knoxville, Tennessee. Now they are opponents instead of teammates, and Vernon Wells draws another walk.
And Scott having a hard time throwing Vernon strikes today.
Yeah, that's how the second inning began. The walk to Wells, and then Lind hit the home run. Another shot at Adam Lind now for Feldman. Travis Snyder is the other young hitter they've got that they thought could really give them a bit of a power boost this year, but Snyder was a bit too inconsistent at the start of the season. Lind, however, has stayed in the lineup. In fact, he's batting fifth.
I think Snyder will be that guy eventually. Very young. I think he's only 20 or 21 years old to start the season. #1 draft choice. He'll be back, but right now he's probably better suited to playing every day in AAA. Remember the way that Lind is playing, you're right. No need for another player right now.
Feldman missing outside would take you back to the home run that Lind hit.
Yeah, that was one. Scott would love to have that one back. That was a changeup right in the center of the strike zone.
Paul Emmel, by the way, is the home plate umpire tonight. Michigan native. Speaking of Michiganders, the Tigers, a 5-4 winner in Chicago, first of two today. They're giving the ball to Fernando Rodney this year as their closer. Remember, Todd Jones retired. Rodney got his 11th save. They got some guys that can throw hard on that team, huh?
Yeah, they definitely do. Probably more hard throwers on that team than any team in the American League.
Big rip by Lind, couldn't get it. White Sox lead the nightcap, by the way, 2-0. There's Jeremy Bonderman on the mound tonight for Detroit. Right now the Tigers have a 3.5 game lead on the Minnesota Twins. 4.5 on Chicago. In on the hands of Lind that time.
Something we haven't seen in the game yet, anyway, is the cutter getting in on the left-hand hitters and the two-seamer getting in on the right-hand hitters. Saw that all game long in Yankee Stadium. Bats being broken, a lot of weak ground balls. Scott's still trying to find the command of those pitches to get that done.
Runner goes. Saltalamacchia throws. Another bullet. Safe this time.
Oh, that's too bad because that was a great throw. Rios is obviously a pretty good runner. And it's a good. Whoa, I don't know if it's a good call. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can see it this time. I think he's out myself.
I think so too.
Great throw from Jared. Rios stole 30 bases last year. 32 bases. That's Wells, though.
Well,
I don't know how many he stole, but if you're interested, Rio stole 32.
Your statement still carries weight.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
That wasn't wrong.
That'd be like saying as Wells goes into second base, and you know what? Michael Jordan used to score 30 points a game, which is it's true.
Big Papi struck out to end the game yesterday.
Another high drive by Adam Lind. He's not going to do this again, is he? Wow, he is. A walk to Wells and a homer for Lind. It has happened in the second and the fourth. Mike Maddox is going to beat Lind to the middle of the infield here. Maddox will be on the mound almost before Lind touches home plate.
I think this is probably the first time all year for Scott, as a starter anyway. He's had 8 really good starts where he has struggled with his command.
Yep, I agree.
And not quite getting the cutter to cut, not getting the sinker to sink, getting the ball up a little bit. He's walked Wells twice, leading off innings. And he's struggling a little bit right now. First time we've seen him do that, but as well as he's pitched, just can't expect that every single time out.
First time that Lind has homered twice in a big league ball game. And it's the first time this year that Feldman's allowed 4 runs in a game. Basically just 2 swings. A pair of 2-run homers, and both times it was Vernon Wells walking to set it up. That's something they've worked with Lind on diligently, that going to the opposite field for power. He's not going to be Ryan Howard or anything like that, but there was a stat that I think told Lind that just trying to pull the ball all the time wasn't working. And it was from a couple of years ago. He hit 59 ground balls to the right side in 2007. 58 of them failed to get into the outfield. And they said, you know, it's better that you hit the ball in the air with your natural power to left if you're given the opportunity than to just kind of turn on it and hit a little ground ball to the second baseman or first baseman. So sometimes those line drives to left center with his natural power just carry, and that's exactly what he did right there. And certainly the most deep counts we have seen from Feldman in quite some time. Rolen has seen a lot of pitches in this game. He had that 9-pitch at bat his first time up. He will see an 8th pitch of this at bat.
So it really is a carbon copy of the second inning. Walk, home run, long at bat for Rolen.
And a ground ball towards the hole, a base hit. And your carbon copy theory holds up. He had a base hit winning out after the long at bat last time. Now he's got to get caught stealing.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll happen this time.
We were talking earlier about that kind of swing that Adam Lind has now, using the whole field. I think this guy, Lyle Overbay, is a great example of that. Kind of that Mark Grace type. He had the fortune of playing with Mark Grace in Grace's last year of pro ball in Arizona. Overbay was then dealt to Milwaukee in the Richie Sexson trade. Now for a few years he's been a Blue Jay. I think the Blue Jays had a similar player for years in John Olerud. Lefty first baseman, more doubles and home runs, would hit for average, play some good D. Chopped right to Davis. He's going to second for one. Andrews right back to Davis, the 3-6-3.
Roland was running like that because he wasn't sure if Davis stepped on first base. If Chris stepped on first base, then Roland doesn't have to run. That's why he knew he was going to be out at second base if he didn't step on first base. But in case he did, he was going to go back and try to get back to first base, and he might have made it. But Chris didn't step on first base. He threw to second for the force out, so Roland's kind of running back and forth, but he's already out. And the hard hit ball turned into an easy double play. If Chris had stepped on first base, that would have been really good base running by Roland. Because he might have gotten back to first base and foiled the double play attempt.
Rammed by Millar, down the line foul. For a Monday night, not a bad crowd tonight. Kind of a late arriving crowd. Good tickets available for the game tomorrow night. And of course, Wednesday night's that $1 hot dog night. Blue Jays stay in town to play Thursday night. Then the Dodgers come in. They're the top team in the National League. Right now, the Rangers are tied for the best record in the American League.
Josh, our Emily Jones
Yes.
would like to say hello to her grandmother. Melva Jones from Graham, Texas, listens to all of our games, watches all of our games. And your granddaughter, who thinks the world of you, would like to say hello to you tonight. So, hi.
Hi. Very nice. Kevin Millar lines to left. The 2-run homer by Adam Lind. He has done that twice tonight. It is 4-0 Blue Jays. Trivia question. The Rangers and Blue Jays trade, getting Michael Young to the Rangers in July of the year 2000. That was Esteban Loaiza. Darwin Cubillan is the other name in that trade. A lot has been said and written about that deal. The bottom line is the Rangers made out like banditos in that one.
Yeah, you know, it's a typical trade. The Rangers are dumping a player they didn't want, and so they're going to get the best they can for it. The Blue Jays made a number of, in their minds, similar players available. The Rangers did the good scouting, picked the right one. But suffice it to say, if the Blue Jays at that time had any idea that Michael Young was going to be the player that he is, he would not have been included in the trade for Esteban Loaiza. You can go to the bank on that.
Rangers were, at the time, to hear Doug Melvin tell it, they thought they were maybe getting a young Mark Loretta. You know, kind of a versatile gamer who could have a nice little career as a a utility guy. What they actually got was the all-star face of the franchise.
Yeah, and that's a credit to Michael. His aptitude, his work ethic, as well as his talent to become the player that he's become. And, you know, you've said many times, Josh, you've told the story from college to pro ball to high school, the things that Michael has overcome when he was told he wouldn't be able to do it. So a lot of the credit goes to Michael, and a lot of the credit goes to the Rangers because they picked the right player, that's for sure.
Well, you know, it's really fascinating, too, from a Toronto standpoint. The reason they wanted Esteban Loaiza so badly, that was right when they were just of the opinion, hey, look, we're in this. But we got a 23-year-old who's just not someone who we can trust on the mound right now. We love his stuff. There's a hot shot to third. Rolling. Terrific play to get Nelly Cruz to hit into the double play. Wow. Off the bat, it looked like it was going to be a base hit of some measure for Nelly Cruz. Instead, it's a double play.
Well, the Rangers have hit some balls hard tonight that have been caught. That was hit as hard as any of them right there.
And Tag, just to finish the thought, the 23-year-old struggling starter that the Blue Jays just couldn't stick with, so they had to get a guy like Esteban Loaiza. This is kind of a Paul Harvey, now you know the rest of the story. Would you believe Roy Halladay?
Well, at that point in time, I would. Yep.
Halladay, at the time of that trade, his ERA was 10.9. And the Blue Jays wanted a veteran starter. They locked in on Esteban Loaiza, especially after he'd thrown a 3-hit, 1-0 shutout against the Blue Jays as a Ranger just the year before. They liked him a lot. And the Rangers, as we've talked about, they chose wisely. They were given the chance of a bunch of middle infielders. They chose Michael Young. And, of course, Roy Halladay has now become Roy Halladay. What if the Rangers had said, you know, we'll also take that struggling 23-year-old off your hands, too?
Well, he may have been struggling at the time, but I doubt that he was available in that trade.
That's a first-round guy.
You're going to find a lot of 22 and 23-year-olds that are struggling with their ERA that aren't available in the trade. At least not for Esteban Loaiza.
Loaiza's getting a lot of airtime tonight. We mentioned he was the last Ranger to get out 6-0. That was in 1999. Feldman going for that tonight, but he's trailing 4-0. Anyway, July 19th of the year 2000. A very special day in Ranger history, the Michael Young trade. Every July 19th, it should be celebrated. It should be like a local holiday. I think all the kids should get off from school on July 19th. Jansen comes down off the mound. He's willing to meet Barajas in the middle. Normally the catch will go all the way out to the mound. Here's Jansen getting to within about 30 feet of home plate. Murphy had that double to the base of the wall in the second inning. And now he rips one to right center. That ball travels to the track, to the wall. It is high up on that wall. Murphy has doubled again. Boy, did he barely miss having a home run. Deepest part out there, 407 feet away.
Well, since David had his offer at the beginning of the year, he's hitting about between 310 and 320. He had 3 hits yesterday. The only out that he made yesterday was a line shot that the center fielder ran down. Otherwise, he would have had 4 hits. And he's hit 2 balls today that were close to being home runs that ended up being doubles. So I would say David is back. Swinging the bat just like he did last year. And even when he wasn't getting hits at the beginning of the year, he was still having good at bats, getting walks. His on base percentage was halfway decent for someone that was over. And it was just a matter of time. Also, the Rangers had a lot of outfielders. Most of them were going well at the time, so David was having to kind of wait his turn.
Well, Murphy with Hamilton out for the next 4 to 6 weeks, going to get plenty of playing time. It's a good time for him to get hot.
Definitely.
Marlon Byrd, who just missed hitting one out in the second inning, going to drop behind here 0-2. Again, the Rangers a 6-3 winner against the Boston Red Sox yesterday. 4.5 game lead coming in tonight. The Angels do not play tonight, so the Rangers will either be 4 or 5 up. Angels heading to Tampa Bay. Well, the breaking stuff's been real good for Jansen. The strikeout of Marlon Byrd strands David Murphy. The Rangers had 2 hits in the inning, but they could not score. 4-0 Toronto. And that's our Geico quote. Let's hear it from Wash.
My thing was just trying to make sure that we can keep that consistency going. And at the end, I knew that things would take care of themselves. And it did. So it didn't make any sense to really sit around worrying about something you can't control. But I can control what goes on the field, in that clubhouse, in the dugout. And those are the things I took care of.
And again, Ron Washington had his option picked up for next year. Are we calling next year 2010 or 2010? I don't have any confirmation either way on that.
I probably lean personally to saying 2010, but I bet you probably get away with either one of them. You won't be wrong either way.
Who's responsible, though? I mean, who's going to set that one up?
I think you can do it either way.
Really? I mean,
how could someone tell you what to say when they both mean the same thing?
I never said the year 1985.
Do you say 2009?
Uh-huh. But not
Could
2009.
You say 2009?
Never heard anybody say 2009.
Could you say 09?
I always say 09.
See? So you say 2 things already. Let's put it this way. I would suggest not to lose too much sleep over there.
Too late. I'm so confused.
Let's go find out who said. Maybe Obama does. Maybe he'll tell you what to say.
I'm serious. I think there should be some sort of decree from somebody on what to call next year. 2010 or 2010?
I'm going with 2010. Kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit better.
Boy, is there an email topic just burgeoning right there. Marco Scudero, top of the order.
I'm betting. Well, it's going to be an email topic now that we've mentioned it.
No, I know. No, there's nothing we can do.
I'm betting 2010 comes out ahead.
All right. FoxSports.com, by the way, if you think you know. Because, I mean, really, I don't. Keyword is email Rangers. And a 4-0 lead for Toronto tonight. This is the first of a 10-game homestand for the Rangers. Beginning June the 8th, 2009.
You know, it does sound funny, though. If you say he had a good year in 08, you'd have to say he had a good year in 10.
In 10, that's right.
That doesn't sound too good.
Scudero has a parting comment for Paul Emmett. I'm still weirded out by what, you know, I mean, we don't say back in 00. We're back in 0.
Back in 0.
Scudero
struck out twice tonight with balls on each side of the plate, and technically both of them have been a couple inches outside and inside, so I guess he's had a pretty good argument.
Aaron Hill with a line drive single, had been one for his last 30, but that ball finds center field. I had an email here tag from Ranger fan Randy. It says this past fall he was walking around campus and saw Jim Knox, who was covering a game down there, recognized him instantly, and the first thing that came out was, "Hey, it's Josh Lewin. Hi, Josh." So he wants to apologize to Jim. Jim knows who he is. That's cool. And Jim, I'm sorry that guy thought that you and I are interchangeable.
I know. I think we look exactly alike.
No, you're a much better looking man than I am. So.
Like, Jim, did you have like a long conversation with him and just pretend you were Josh?
I did. I tried to bring up Seinfeld episodes and all sorts of things.
Well, you must have sold it pretty well.
I did. I think I did.
He just figured it out.
Even walking around the stands, I get plenty of that. So that's good.
All right, thank you, me. Ian Kinsler will handle this one off the bat of Rios. That's what Feldman needed, was a nice, quick, easy, nonsense-filled inning from the booth. 4-0 in Toronto, bottom of the 5th coming up. Texas Ford dealers, also by Aflac Insurance and by the State of Texas Department of Transportation. Casey Jansen is working on a 4-hit shutout. The Rangers have a couple of hard-hit baseballs, but Toronto's got a pair of home runs. 2-run shots from Adam Lind. Now the Rangers try to get cracking in the bottom of the 5th inning. We've got Evan Grant in the booth with us. Seems like every bottom of the 5th. We have a chance to talk to someone really cool, whether it's Steve Busby or Evan Grant, Mark McLemore. Tonight just happens to be Evan. And your thoughts about, boy, a lot of things will be rolled out there here in the bottom of the 5th, Evan. You had a busy day today.
I'm still stunned at you saying Evan Grant and really cool in the same sentence.
Well, it's the shirt. I mean, you're wearing cool, so you're
Evan, you're just so modest. People around the league don't think that way. People that are watching tonight see you sit down and go, this is one of the coolest parts of the whole game.
Got to turn the volume up extra loud.
That's
extra
okay.
loud. All right, so where should we start, Josh?
Let's start with Ron Washington. Your thoughts on getting extended the 1 year?
Well, you know, we talked about this in the pregame show a little bit, that you look at the guys who came in 2007, all the managers that came in as first-time managers. He's got the best winning percentage now of all that group, of Bob Guerin and Manny Acta, Freddie Gonzalez, and Bud Black. He's got the best winning percentage. And then if you take that first 50 games out where he really struggled, he's an above 500 manager right now. So this team has played hard. This team is really responded to him. I think it was well deserved.
You know, you're around the players a lot. Don't you think there was a little bit of him getting used to the players and the players getting used to him right off the bat too?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Wash is not by any stretch of the imaginations a polished clubhouse manipulator type guy. He is not a politician. He comes at you. He says exactly how he feels. The Rangers were in a different situation before. I think it took some time for players to get used to him, and I think it took some time for him to get used to a bigger group than just the 6 infielders he was dealing with in Oakland.
All right, topic number 2, Jack Drummond. We go to Josh Hamilton, not being with the team, not being able to play for the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Yes. You know, the Rangers are actually happy about this, Josh, all things considered, because it's not the full-scale sports hernia surgery that Ian Kinsler had and that a number of other players have had to have. This is basically a guy that's going to go in and do some suturing of the abdominal wall muscle there. The Rangers feel like he can get back on the field in 4 to 6 weeks rather than the 8 to 10 week period, which is what Kinsler had last year. And if you're looking at that, then you're also looking at, well, they may have to go get a bat for the trading deadline.
Saltalamacchia down on strikes. And quickly, topic number 3 for Evan Grant.
Yes,
Brandon McCarthy is not going to be available for a while. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are a little bit of head shaking, I think. It looked like Brandon was finally getting over the whole thing of being frail and fragile. He had added the 30 pounds in between the last 2 seasons, had that 7,000 calorie a day diet during the offseason.
Who among us wouldn't love that?
Well, I asked him how he kind of got to that, and he was saying he put syrup on everything he ate all day. So, you know, but you thought he was a little bit more sturdy, and it's just not happened that way. I expect he'll be out at least a month at this point. Won't see him before the All-Star break. And it's just bad news that's been another chapter in very much a star-crossed career.
Yeah. Evan Grant visiting with us. The Rangers batting here with Elvis Andrus up. And Elvis trying to dance out of the way. Instead, he's hit. The number 9 batter hit by a pitch, and Kinsler a chance to swing now.
You know, with some pitchers, they have multiple times on the disabled list, multiple injuries, and you wonder how fragile they are. You know, in Brandon's case, it's not like he's got tendinitis or a sore arm and you wonder how bad it really is. And the guy has a stress fracture that's causing his pain. There's just not much you can do about that.
There really is.
I feel bad for him.
You could tell how frustrated he was in talking to him before the game. And you know, the other interesting thing, I always remember, they're not necessarily the same pitcher. Al Leiter was a power left-hander, but I remember when I was covering the Marlins and Leiter came to the Marlins at that point. I remember Dave Dombrowski talking about him being a young 30-year-old. Now, what do you mean by a young 30-year-old? Well, he had so many injuries and had developed the kind of stigma that he could never stay healthy.
Hadn't thrown many pitches.
So he ended up, you know, in his 30s, he had a very nice run.
Like the car that only gets driven to church by the little old lady, right? I mean, low mileage, and you can keep on driving.
But you just never know when they're actually going to get healthy and when they're going to be able to roll off several years. If they've got talent, it's there, and it's obviously there with Brandon McCarthy.
And I agree with you. This is the year it looked like it was going to happen because his pitch counts were up there. He was taking the ball every time out. He was throwing well, getting better, headed in the right direction. It just really couldn't have come at a worse time. I feel so bad for him.
And you know, he had reincorporated the curveball into the repertoire and was really using it as a weapon the last couple times out. He was developing into the kind of pitcher the Rangers thought they were getting when they traded for him.
In a weird way, resiliency, though, seems to be the hallmark of this team in 2009. So, I mean, is it any surprise that the Rangers just kind of keep getting roundhouse rights and they keep getting up from all of them?
Well, look, I think when you go back and look at the last week and everything that this club went through on the road, and to come out of that road trip 3-3, I think that speaks volumes about the fact that this team is going to be around for the long haul this year. The injuries, certainly, you don't want to see them piling up the way they have. But to go through that trip without Josh Hamilton for the full week, without Frankie Francisco for the weekend in Boston, to blow the lead in New York on the last day there and suffer that loss, to have the whole drama with Padilla and still come out of it 3-3, I think speaks very well for this club's competitiveness.
Kinsler takes a walk, and Michael Young coming up. Inning began with a couple of strikeouts, but then the hit by pitch, now the walk, and now a chance for Michael Young.
Are you going to get to the important question, Josh? I'm kind of waiting for it.
Yeah. All right, topic number 4 for Evan Grant. This, of course, Evan, is 2009. What is next year?
I go with 2010. I don't go 2010.
See, he says 2010.
Whoa, I might have to reevaluate what I said then if the Oracle says 2010.
But did you ever go 29?
No, I went 09.
See, so why?
I can't go 10.
But you went 2000. You went 2009. So why wouldn't it be 2010?
No, I went 09. I always said 09.
Oh, you never got the whole 2000.
No, I'm struggling with just going. It happened in 10.
I see. I would go with the aughts. I like the aughts, but now we're going to be done with them after this year.
Well,
aughts
we're just going to have to figure out how to deal with it.
Our emailers are of more help. It looks like about a 4-to-1 ratio tag that we should be calling it 2010.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Take that, Oracle.
I think it's because of the song In the Year 2525, personally. But
well, that's a whole different story.
I know, and we have no more time to discuss, unfortunately, as Michael Young grounds out. Evan Grant stopping by for his occasional visit. Thanks, Ev.
I'll be back hopefully before the year 2525.
But one can only hope. It is 4-0 Toronto. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network, your world delivered. Scott Feldman goes 1-0 on Vernon Wells as the top of the 6th is underway.
Yeah, Alex Rios has made the last out of an inning 3 times already, and this one goes a lot.
Oh, man. Wells is going to reach again anyway.
I'm going to say it's going to go a lot better. Instead of walking, now he's on second base.
Just not going Scott Feldman's way tonight.
And that was one of the better pitches he's made all night. He got the 2-seamer in on Wells' hands and jammed him, something he's done all year long. But and just threw it over Chris's head.
He fielded it beautifully. And then threw it into the first base coach's box. That's too bad, because with that, Wells able to get to second base. Not even a chance for the conventional double play now. Wells able to take third. Lind is finally retired. He had homered twice before. Now Scott Rowland comes up, and Emily Jones is standing by.
Hey guys, as always, we are keeping you up to speed on everything Rangers on our Twitter page, FS Southwest. We hope you are a follower, and we want you to keep us up to speed on what you're thinking as well. As you guys well know, it was a very busy news day here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. We want to know what you think was the biggest news item of the day. Was it Ron Washington's option being picked up for the 2010 or 2010, as you might say, season? Was it Brandon McCarthy going on the DL, or was it Josh Hamilton and his scheduled surgery tomorrow in Philadelphia? Please let us know on our Twitter page, FS Southwest. Josh and Tom?
All right, Emily, thank you very much. The infield in for the Rangers. Scott Rowland at the plate. Vernon Wells, the runner at third. 4-0 Toronto. That ball kind of scooped out towards right. Nelly Cruz coming on, makes a basket catch for out number 2.
This is the best Scott's thrown now here in the 6th inning. He's made some good pitches here in the 6th inning. Before he throws another pitch, Josh, I want to say hi to a friend. Nice running play by Nelly. I'd like to say hi to my friend Pat Graffio. I met Pat this winter and was so impressed with his courage and also with his family. Pat, we think about you often and hope the Rangers can have a great season as you enjoy watching Ranger baseball this year. Say hi to your daughter Angela for me and all the rest of your family, and we'll be thinking about you.
Infield back to regular depth now. Lyle Overbay with a 14-game hitting streak is going to take ball 1.
Also, Greg Schmidt, one of our cameramen, has a birthday in his family. His dad, Tom, is 84 today. So, Tom, happy birthday. Boy,
that's getting in on
4 good at-bats for Scott. Not one of them hit the ball well. And he pitched out of a man on second, no out jam.
Toronto 4, Rangers nothing. Hi, Greg. Slam inning. It is brought to you by Sonic, and the jackpot worth $400 plus tickets to a Ranger game and dinner for 2 at Sonic. Good luck to Calvin Jones of Dallas. If a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, well, first of all, tie game. Also, we give Calvin $25,000. You can register at any North Texas Sonic restaurant. The Rangers a 6-3 winner in Boston yesterday. They come home where they've been averaging about 6.5 runs per game, but against Casey Jansen tonight, it is a 4-0 lead for Toronto here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Rangers have some home run hitters coming up here. Blaylock and Nelly Cruz to start the inning. Hank steers the count to 2-1. Again, the Rangers, who have won 12 of their last 15 at home, they've got their next 10 games right here in Arlington.
Well, Jansen all of a sudden struggling a little bit with his command. He hit Andrus, walked Kinsler. First walk he's had. Now he's down 3-1 here. Have to down 5 runs. You got to make sure this is a good pitch.
It is not, so the hammer just takes a walk, and up comes Nelly Cruz. He has been smoking home runs all over the place. Check your Ford leaderboard. We can update that. Mark Teixeira has hit number 18 tonight, so he moves into the lead, and it's Nelly Cruz and Carlos Pena right after that. Then Jason Bay, then Ian Kinsler. Man, that has been an equalizing pitch all night. We'll check some scores for you in just a moment or two. A lot of teams have the day off today. Wave and a miss by Nelly, 1-2. Slider. Yankees lead Tampa Bay 5-3 tonight. But remember, they've been giving up runs to Tampa Bay in the late innings in games played this year. You know who's got a home run for Tampa Bay?
Ben Zobrist.
Gabe Kapler.
Gabe Kapler, all right.
His first as a Tampa Bay Ray. Ben Zobrist was an excellent guest, though, because we've been talking about him a lot.
Every time you've mentioned a home run for Tampa Bay in the last week,
I know.
It seems like it's been him.
Gabe Kapler. The Yankees have 4. Jeter, Damon, Swisher, and Teixeira. White Sox 6 and the Tigers nothing in game 2 of a doubleheader. Tigers won the opener 5-4. Jason Frazier getting up in the Toronto bullpen with a shutout still intact right now for Jansen. Nelly Cruz, base hit left center. Here come the Rangers now. 2 on, nobody out. And the guy who's been swinging the best bat probably of anybody the last couple days is next up, David Murphy.
Well, there's a hanging curveball right there. He's lucky Nelly didn't hit that in the seats. Nelly hit the ball hard last time. He hit a shot right straight to Rowan and turned it into a double play. Good inning for Scott Feldman last inning. That was his best inning. Good pitches. Pitched around his throwing error. Wells was on second and nobody out. He pitched out of that, kept it at 4-0.
Outside corner, strike 1. Well, Jason Jennings still throwing for the Rangers. A night that Feldman seemed to be kind of battling himself a little bit, but had a very quick, relatively pain-free 6th inning, top of the 6th inning.
His pitch count's in the 90s. threw a lot of pitches early in the game, first 3 innings for sure.
Same pitch, same place.
Close to the strike zone. Seen that pitch called on Scudero a couple of times. And Paul Emmel appears to occasionally give the pitcher a little bit of a break. That's okay. Seems to be going both ways.
Barajas having to shift to get around that one. Over the National League, one kind of interesting thing I think going on, Tag. You got the Braves and the Pirates. Normally that's not real interesting, but Nate McLouth is homered against his former team tonight.
Interesting.
I think so. 6-6 in the 7th inning tonight. Murphy ground ball towards second, and it pinballs off of Hill. And in the Sonic slam inning, it's a chance for Marlon Byrd now with the bases loaded, nobody out.
Hill's doing an excellent job at second base. And the Blue Jays are an excellent defensive team, so hopefully the Rangers will be able to take advantage of this. Looked like he got a little bit off balance right here. I think he was trying to get in position to throw to second base maybe. And the ball went off his glove. Now the Rangers with the bases loaded, no outs. Best chance they've had to get right back in the game.
Well, with the shutout hanging by a thread. Cito Gaston to talk to Jansen. Not making the move quite yet. Frazier is ready. And Cito Gaston's going to give him his shot.
He's at 86 pitches, and he's been throwing the ball well tonight. Hasn't thrown the ball as well, though, to the last 6 hitters. He struck out Davis and Saltalamacchia to start the 5th. And then since that time, even though his pitch count is not a problem, his command hasn't been quite the same as it was before that. He's hung some pitches. He's walked a couple. He's hit a batter. Had the misfortune of an error right there on a good pitch that got Murphy to hit a ground ball. And so now the Rangers trying to take advantage of it. Watch it. Very good one.
Got Chris Davis on deck. Right now, Bird, who just missed, taking one out to the opposite field in the 2nd. On the ground, slowly hits. Scudero cuts it off and drops it. They're still loaded, and the Rangers have scored.
It looked like he might have an outside chance to field that ball and throw to second. David runs well, so I don't think he could have done it. It wasn't a hard hit ball, but it was perfectly located. Now, there's no way he could have got David in second base if you look at the replay. Goes after the ball and takes a header. Still nobody out. Got to make some contact here.
Chris Davis, who put on a show during batting practice today. Took a big swing. He fouled it.
The key for Chris, and it's been the key for him tonight, is you have to make the pitcher throw a strike. If you swing at the breaking balls in the dirt consistently, that's all you're going to see. And Chris knows this. Until you stop swinging at them, they're not going to get the ball up. So you have to be patient.
Now he is down 0-2. And Chris has only 8 hits this year with 2 strikes on him.
That's the way to lay off it.
Yep. From 0-2 to 2-2.
They can get it up. I'm making the call right here. Hanging curveball.
All right. And Chris Davis would know what to do with that. With the bases loaded.
Sense of karma down there.
It gets away. It's a productive swing and a miss. Strike three. Davis is going to be safe. It's 4-2.
Davis can't run. He's out because there's already a man on first base. But it's a wild pitch, and the rest of the runners can advance. And
Yep.
now there's one out. Second and third. It's a 2-run game.
Yeah, Davis got to first and then realized, wait a minute, I can't be here. But the wild pitch, after swing and a miss, strike three, has indeed made it 4-2. The tying man at second base, the go-ahead man at the plate. And a pitching change in hand now. Casey Jansen is done. Rangers on the board a couple times. Saltalamacchia will bat when we come back. Couple runs in, couple runners on. The Verizon call to the bullpen. Jason Frazier comes into the ball game. He's got to face Saltalamacchia and Andrews, 8 and 9 guys in the Ranger order, with Kinsler kind of laying in wait.
Well, Frazier's one of their better relievers. He's got a good arm. He's already got 4 wins. He only pitched 19 innings. He won 4 games. Opponents are hitting 194. Good control. He doesn't walk anybody. Gonna make you put it in play, but you got to get a run in right here. You want to get one more at least. Infield's back on the right side at shortstop. The ground ball is going to score a run, but a base hit would score 2.
At the very least, yeah, contact is what you're after here.
So if Chris was able to lay off that pitch in the dirt, he'd still be up there with men on second and third. But still a good situation. 1 out. Men at second and third. Great chance to pick up 1 and hopefully a couple.
First one banged in right field. Base hit Saltalamacchia. It is 4-3. Runners at the corners and Andrews coming up.
Bad inning for him. First one was a boot. That you might have a little bit of an excuse because that was a bullet by Saltalamacchia. He had a chance to catch it, but that's a hanging slider right down the middle of the plate. And he's lucky that he didn't get it up in the air.
Well, you figured it was a matter of time for the Rangers to get engaged here, start scoring some runs. A 3-run bottom of the 6th. Runners at the corners now for Andrews.
A nice little time for squeeze play right here. One thing we know from Ron Washington, he's not afraid to try anything. He would double steal. I don't know that he would triple steal, but if there's a team in baseball that would try it, it'd probably be Ron.
Be your running Rangers.
That's
yep.
right.
Kinsler on deck. Elvis will take down and in.
You know, for a 20-year-old against a good bullpen guy like Frazier, normally you'd say this is a tough at bat. But watching Elvis all year, you feel good with him up to the plate. You got the infield back. He makes pretty good contact, puts the ball in play. Maybe 20, but you feel good with him up there in this situation.
Lines one into the crowd. Elvis and the Rangers faced these Blue Jays back in April. They beat Roy Halladay, but then lost a couple of tough ones. Elvis was actually hitless in that series. Runner coming home. Andrews couldn't get the bunt down. Bird is chased back to third. He's going to almost make it back to third. I thought he did. Barajas tracked him down. And down to second is Saltalamacchia. That was a tough pitch to bunt. You called the squeeze tag and you got it. That pitch so far outside.
The amazing thing is Frazier has really good control. He's only walked 3 batters. So in that situation, if you're the manager, you're anticipating a pitch around the strike zone. Instead, he throws a pitch away that Elvis couldn't bunt. He's safe.
I thought he might have been too.
I don't think he tagged him.
Third base umpire Bruce Dreckman called right there, I guess, the tag.
Yeah,
he pointed back there.
Almost a chance for Marlin to get an interference call.
Right.
If he ran in to roll on the third base. Didn't run into him, but it was close.
Oh, had Andrews been able to get that ball bunted out in front of the plate, you're talking 4-4. Now that tying man at second base, 2 out. Andrews to right center. And the rally falls a little short. An exciting inning, though. The Rangers back to within 4-3. to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. The Rangers going for the squeeze play. Couldn't quite get it done. Still, they're back to within 4-3. Let's take you back.
The pitch is outside, but it's a buntable ball. It's not an easily buntable ball. It's up. It's a good fastball. That's usually the toughest pitch to bunt. The easiest pitch to bunt is a ball down in the strike zone. That was up and out of the strike zone. I think Elvis is still probably upset that he didn't at least get a piece of it. In that situation, obviously the runner is naked coming down the third baseline. You don't get the bunt down, he's out. Although Marlin did a great job trying to avoid the run down and almost got back to third base. Jason Jennings coming in here for the 7th inning, trying to keep it a 4-3 game. For Scott Feldman, 6 innings. Struggled, I think, early with his command. A couple of walks to Wells and a couple of pitches that a changeup was up the first time, fastball up the second time, it looked like. But what you like about Scott is the way he finished in the 6th inning. That was his best stuff. 4 hitters, none of them hit the ball hard in the 6th inning. And it may not have been his best game or his best stuff, but he hung in there for 6 innings without it, and that's a sign of a good pitcher right there.
Saltalamacchia takes care of Millar. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, Josh, you're talking about a couple of big-time Ranger fans, John and Emily Lindsay out of Oklahoma. Big day on Saturday. What happened, John?
We got married.
Decided to spend the honeymoon here at the ballpark. Whose great idea was this?
That was mine.
Yeah, Emily, what do you think about that?
I wanted to go to the beach, but this is the next best thing.
Now, talking to John, he said that every anniversary will be spent at the ballpark watching the Rangers. What do you think about that?
That'll be fine with me. Hi, Grandpa. I love you.
That's converted a Ranger fan. All right, well, congratulations. Hopefully Rangers come back for a win.
Congratulations to the happy couple. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Here is Rod Barajas down in the count 0-1. Rod had to run down Marlon Byrd. Thank you, Chuck Norris. That's Gary Darling that says that strike 2. Marlon very close to getting back to third base on that suicide squeeze. It didn't quite work. Jennings gets Barajas. That's 90 miles an hour from Jason Jennings. That tells you that Jason pretty much come all the way back.
Yeah, that's the best velocity this outing that we've seen from Jason, and you can tell he's feeling good about his fastball and he's throwing it, not sliders. Last year it was 82, 83, 84. Earlier this year it was 86, 87, 88. Today 89 and 90. So you can tell Jason's feeling good tonight. Good to see that too. He's worked hard to get back to this point.
That ball nailed by Scudero into right field. He's got a base hit and a 2-for-4 evening going. Now with the Rangers kind of having the Blue Jays on the ropes last inning. I'd like to see the Rangers come right back up there as soon as possible. You got the top third of the order and the bottom of the 7th. Jennings, very simply, his job here is to keep it at 4-3. Good slider to start off Hill.
Great
and
throw.
Wow, look at that.
That was a delayed steal. And it didn't catch anybody. Ian saw it coming, and Salty led him with a perfect throw.
Salty has caught 2 Blue Jays on the bases tonight. Had himself that big RBI single about 5-10 minutes ago as well. Can the Rangers come all the way back? They're to within 4-3. the number 5 hitter for Toronto is a left-handed hitting left fielder. He's got 2 home runs. That would be Adam Lind. For the Rangers, number 5 hitter, lefty, left fielder, David Murphy. He's got 2 doubles. Rangers had a weird, wild 6th inning. It got him 3 runs in. And here we are, 4-3 is back live now. Ian Kinsler is going to send one to right field. That'll be caught. 1 pitch, 1 out, bottom 7.
Good fastball from Frazier. Got it in on the fist, jammed in.
Again, Lind, a pair of 2-run homers, both of them following walks to Vernon Wells. Another nice night for David Murphy. On a busy night off the field for the Rangers. The knowledge that Josh Hamilton had to have that surgery. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. The knowledge of Brandon McCarthy is going to be lost for a while. And the good news for Ron Washington that he got that contract extension through 2010 or 2010. Still haven't resolved that one, Tag. The emailers are still weighing in.
I think it's just personal preference.
Yep. Next year, we'll just call it next year.
You know, I was saying you have to call it 10. I guess you could call it 1-0 too.
The big 1-0?
Yeah, like 09. 1-0. Happened in 1-0. Contract runs through 1-0.
Michael Young is wearing that number for you. We can ponder it for all during his at-bat here.
I'm going to wait and see how Eric Nadel says it.
That will kind of sway things one way or the other, I would think. I know Eric's watching. If he wants to weigh in, that's perfectly fine.
No, I'm going to wait and see what Vince Scully says.
Ooh. Except Vin's not making the trip.
Oh,
he doesn't do games out this way.
Right.
He's a West Coast guy now. So
well,
we could call him. You want to call Vin Scully and ask him?
I don't have him on speed dial.
Oh. I think Eric does.
Maybe Eric will check with Vince before he decides how to call it.
If it's good enough for Scully, it's good enough for Tag. And I'm with you on that. Nice play by Frazier. They'll skip the throw, and Overbay helps him out. 2 down.
I think I called him Vince. Vin.
Vince Cotroneo.
Yeah.
Vin Scully.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Active bullpen for Toronto. Brandon League and Jesse Carlson. All right, I'm putting in the call right here for the hammer.
Good call.
I'm trying. He does have a home run fairly recently. He got 12 for the year. Frazier, like a lot of these Toronto pitchers, not a guy that gives up a lot of home runs. But the Rangers are the team that's hit the most home runs in the major leagues. Ground ball instead. This time Aaron Hill's going to get it. Had a tough inning last inning, but the Blue Jays send the Rangers away in order here in the 7th. It stays 4-3. Astros come in, and next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, the first 7,500 kids 13 and under get a Red Rangers batting helmet, courtesy of Dr. Pepper. 972 Rangers is the number to call if you want to get those Ranger tickets, or TexasRangers.com is the website address to go to. Jennings to Hill for a strike. We had the lovely Allie all set to model a helmet for us, but it was the wrong color. We have the blue helmet in stock. We're giving away the red helmet next Tuesday, so Allie's airtime will have to wait, sadly. Hill blasting towards center. Got it off the end of the bat, though. Marlon Byrd locks up the baseball. A night where Scott Feldman went 6 innings, and the Rangers are just trying to get him off the hook right now. They don't want him to be saddled with that loss. He gave up a pair of 2-run homers tonight, both to Adam Lind. By the way, I do have an email from the great Eric Nadel.
Okay.
On our
I'm predicting Eric would say 2010.
This is our topic du jour for some reason. Trying to figure out what to call next year. Eric says, I was the stupid guy who said 2001 instead of 2001 at the start of the decade.
Okay.
Until nobody else did. 2001 would have caught on if it had not been for that darn movie, 2001. You know, Space Odyssey 2001.
Yeah.
It's like saying you would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for those meddling kids. And he does not have Vin Scully's number in his Rolodex.
Okay.
But he does have the Vince Gill Christmas album. So thanks anyway, E. Appreciate it. All right, well, that's a project for me, I guess, tomorrow. I will email the Dodgers and try to see if we can get from Vin Scully what we're all going to call next year. And we go right to the mount. Three balls a strike to Alex Rios, who's had a difficult season here in 2009. Going to take this one to right field. It's twisting away from Nelson Cruz. He won't get it. It's going to bounce into the corner. That goes as a double for Rios. Getting up to speed on some other scores from around baseball. We mentioned Gabe Kapler with a home run for the Tampa Bay Rays tonight. But the Yankees win that game 5-3. Rivera did save it this time, number 14. There's a strike to Vernon Wells. Tigers beat the White Sox in the first of two, 5-4. All White Sox in the nightcap, 6-0. Scott Podsednik has a home run out of West Kama, Texas. Jose Contreras, a one-hit shutout through 8. Oh. Jose Contreras doing that.
Glad we got the White Sox out of the way. You don't have to worry about it if he turns it around.
Wells up over top. Another good slider from Jennings. Twins and the A's are underway. No score first inning. This one right here is 4-3 Toronto for now. Wells has reached 3 times tonight without the benefit of a hit. He's got 2 walks, and he reached on that Scott Feldman throwing error in the 6th. Jennings deals and got him. Vernon Wells is out. Adam Lind already with 2 home runs coming up. And first, let's go away. Let's talk to Dana real quick. A little preview of Rangers Live.
All right, guys, coming up, much more from John Daniels and Nolan Ryan and their decision to keep Ron Washington around for another year, plus a very frustrated Brandon McCarthy. We hear from him as he prepares for another trip on the disabled list. Join me and Evan Grant right after the game.
All right, Dana, thank you very much. We've already seen Evan very nattily attired tonight. So Lind with his first ever 2-homer game and has driven in all 4 Toronto runs tonight. He's got a chance right here to pump up the lead for these Blue Jays. On the outside corner. The Rangers will have the middle third of the order up in the bottom of the 8th, starting with Nelly Cruz and the suddenly very hot David Murphy. Yanked foul towards that Ranger dugout. Dwayne Murphy made that play in that first base coach's box for Toronto. We were talking about the rarely executed triple steal earlier, Tag, and he was part of one of those for Billy Martin's Oakland A's.
I wish I saw that. That's I've never seen that before.
Knocked down by Saltalamacchia, 3-1. Casey Jansen stands to be the winner. Scott Feldman right now is on the hook for what would be his first loss of the year, but the Rangers still have the bottom of the 8th and the bottom of the 9th. Bouncing ball. Davis has got it to Jennings on the bag. Inning over. Now Nelly Cruz and the Rangers trying to get back in it here. They close the gap to 1 as it is, 4-3. Reckless Kelly will be performing on the North Lawn after the game this Saturday. The Rangers play the Dodgers at 7:05. The concert is right after the game. Admission to that concert free with your Rangers game ticket. Sponsored by the big 96.3 KSCS. Maybe Charlie Pride will stop by. Actually, maybe Reckless Kelly will stop by, try to meet Charlie Pride. 972 Rangers, a number to call to get your tickets, or you can go to TexasRangers.com. Brandon League is on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays. Another of these hard-throwing Toronto relievers, off whom it is tough to homer.
Josh, we get a lot of calls about the disabled list occasionally. We've been talking about it so much. Some people want to know, how long do you have to stay on the disabled list? Well, basically there's two: a 15-day disabled list, and you have to be on it for 15 days. But it can be backdated to the last time you played. So you may not go on the disabled list for 3 or 4 days, and then the team decides to put you on the disabled list. They can count those 3 or 4 days that you didn't play and add it in to the 15 days that you have to miss. The other disabled list is the 60-day disabled list, and obviously same thing is true. You have to be on it for 60 days. The thing about the 60-day disabled list is if you go on that, you don't count on the 40-man roster. If you're on the 15-day disabled list, you do. And that helps teams bring players to the big leagues that weren't on the roster. Boy, there's a nasty splitter right there. Bottom dropped out of that. We saw League over the last few years, and he's always had a really good fastball. And if he can perfect that splitter that he just threw, he's going to kind of jump up there in performance.
Cruz the first out here in the 8th inning. Now David Murphy, who has reached 3 times. We're talking about the DL tag, and right now the guys on the 60-day for the Rangers. And normally guys on the 60-day, you just kind of forget they were even around, unfortunately, sometimes. Joaquin Benoit, Eric Hurley, Dustin Nippert. Joaquin with that shoulder surgery, he's out for the year. Nippert landed on the 60-day with the back problem, the rhomboid strain. Murphy, chop ball, first base. Out number 2. And Eric Hurley, by the way, the shoulder surgery as well. Our Coors Light freeze cam. Take you back to that big play with Marlon Byrd trying to dive back to third base, and very tough call for the third base umpire, Bruce Dreckman.
He's right on top of it, and he had a good look at it. We can look at it from all different angles and not know for sure. And I got to go with Bruce on that call.
Marlon 1 for 3 tonight. Let's see if he can give Chris Davis a chance to take a big swing. Rangers have not led yet tonight. In fact, they were down 4-0. Doing the bird for this popular Ranger center fielder. Boy, Lee can really bring it. 96 on that last one. The native Hawaiian. Bird is going to roll it into right field, and here comes Davis. The Blue Jays do have a lefty ready in the bullpen. We shall see if they go and get him.
And it looks like they will. Here comes Cito.
Carlson was up earlier. I'm assuming that's who's still throwing down there. Aaron Hill tearing after it, but Marlon Byrd reaches. Well, as it turns out, it's Scott Downs. Apparently he had replaced Carlson, so it's Downs coming on. Can't wait to get there. 4-3 for now. Back in just a moment. Coming up for the Rangers, you can follow your Rangers on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com, by the way. At Bat 2009 is the application. You got the lefty end of the ball game. That is the aptly named Scott Downs. He is a ground ball pitcher of the utmost. But the Rangers have a right-handed option here, and that is Andrew Jones. He'll be pinch hitting for Chris Davis in a 4-3 game.
Downs is having an outstanding year. He's a good, solid reliever. He's had 7 saves. He's only walked 3 in 24 innings. Opponents are hitting a little over 200 against him. And he's only given up 1 home run. So you're right. He keeps the ball down. He's got good, solid stuff. A good late inning guy for the Blue Jays.
Jones with a history of success against him. He is 4 for 9. One big swing could catapult the Rangers into the late lead here in front of a crowd of about 18,000. A little bit snug, 2-0. Not really much of a wind to speak of tonight. On an 85-degree evening here in Arlington. Bird with that 2-out single. He's the Ranger runner. And the 2-0. Wave and a miss.
Pretty good pitch right there by Downs. Down and away, sinking. Tough pitch to get in the air.
Rangers looking for their 4th pinch hit of the year. Andrew checking his swing. Yes, he did. 3-1. Saltalamacchia on deck. Ground ball near third. Rollins got it. And that's the inning. Again, Downs usually gets ground balls, and in a big spot, that's what he got. 4-3 Toronto at the end of 8. Feldman started. And he didn't pitch badly tonight, but he gave up a couple of 2-run homers to Adam Lind. And it's 4-3 Toronto right now. Andrew Jones stays in the game at first. And the Rangers hoping to get something rekindled in the bottom of the 9th inning. Trying to keep the Blue Jays to that total of 4 runs right now. It's been 4, 9, and 1 for Toronto. 3, 8, and 1 for Texas.
Yeah, I think watching Scott tonight, the one thing that you liked about his performance was it wasn't his best stuff tonight, but sometimes the measure of a pitcher is how do you perform without your best stuff. And I like the fact that the last inning, the 6th inning, was his best inning. He kind of regained his command. He jammed a couple of hitters, got a weak tapper back to the mound, another ball off the end of the bat, and finished strong and ended up with 6 innings.
He got 3 outs over his last 5 pitches tonight. So
all in all, it was a good performance for Scott, because sometimes you have to go out there without your best stuff and battle through it, and he did that tonight.
Rolen eyeballs the strike. You don't want to put Rolen on the way Overbay's been hitting. Overbay's on deck. Got a 14-game hitting streak. To right field. Nelson Cruz won't get it. It whistles right by him. On his way to second base is Rolen. He got ahead in the count 3-1 and then went to work. It's a 3-hit night for Rolen. He pushes his batting average up past 300.
Roland's power numbers might not reach what they were before, but he still puts the ball in play. They get his share of doubles and play an outstanding third base. Very good defensive player, gritty kind of player, good guy to have on the club.
Midwest guy with Midwest sensibilities. It seemed St. Louis was going to be the perfect place for him, but he and Tony La Russa kind of ended up at odds.
It was an interesting trade. They traded Troy Gloss to get him. Gloss has been injured much of his time in St. Louis. They're hoping to come back off the disabled list soon. And Roland's had his own injuries, but he's been healthy this year. He's playing some nice baseball for the Blue Jays.
Remember, Roland came up with the Phillies, drawing all those comparisons to Mike Schmidt. One and one to Overbay now. Same 2 teams tomorrow, don't forget. That game is going to be on My 27 here in the Metroplex. Rangers have had to make an adjustment to their pitching rotation, again with Brandon McCarthy going to the DL. Doug Mathis will get the start tomorrow. He had a couple of those as a Ranger last year. Brian Talent, a lefty, going for Toronto.
It was a good opportunity for Doug. He was pitching terrific in AAA, especially his last 4 or 5 times out. And he's got big league stuff. His fastball in Boston.
Close. Ooh, they almost got him.
With 92 or 93 miles an hour. He's got a good assortment of pitches to go along with it. And I'm sorry that Brandon can't make that start. Really feel badly for Brandon. But in the meantime, it may be a great opportunity for Doug to step in and make a name for himself in the rotation, too. Looking forward to seeing him tomorrow.
Matt Harrison threw a bullpen session today. The Rangers are hoping to get him back soon enough. And then the question becomes, what of Derek Holland? All the mixing and matching, all the permutations, that kind of spin from what's been going on lately. (3-1) delivery. Now 3-2. The Rangers will have 8, 9, and 1 in the order coming up in the bottom of the 9th. The 2 youngsters acquired in the Mark Teixeira deal, Saltalamacchia and Andrews, and then Kinsler, top of the order. That squirts outside. Mike Maddox will take a jog out to talk to Jennings. Kevin Millar will be the batter. Millar makes a lot of contact. He hits a lot of fly balls. Not necessarily a ground ball hitting guy, so I'm sure you're hoping for a double play right now. Millar not the perfect candidate for that. Darren O'Day's in the Ranger bullpen.
Well, if he decides to bring Darren in right now, he can relive his outing when he first joined the Rangers in Toronto. I believe it was Millar that he faced that day. Millar, I think, was the one that pulled that ball in the gap.
Can we get Kason Gabbard's jersey back?
Yeah.
It was the blue jersey that night. Yeah, it was Millar tag. That was the RBI single to left after the intentional walk of Roland. Blue Jays won that game in the bottom of the 11th inning after the Rangers had tied it with 3 in the 9th. Opening game of a 10-game homestand for the Rangers tonight. Remember, they lost their most recent home game. That's the Oakland A's. First one's a strike. That game that the Rangers played against the A's, that last game of the homestand, that was kind of an underwhelming game for a while too. That was a 5-4 final. The Rangers spotted the A's big lead, fought back, and came up just short at the end.
They actually tied that game and lost it on a home run by Adam Kennedy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was 4-4, and then Kennedy broke it open off Frankie.
Rangers had a pretty good chance to tie this game at 4 tonight, too. Second and third and one out. Got one of them in, couldn't get the other one in, though.
Right before that was the squeeze that they tried with runners at the corners at the time. But Andrews couldn't get the bunt down on the pitch that was outside. Another great block by Saltalamacchia.
Yeah, Salty has gotten so good at that you almost take it for granted now. The ball goes in the dirt and he blocks it. Big deal, but all season long he's been really good at blocking balls. That one he caught in his glove, but there's been some that have been outside or inside by a wide margin that he's really had to shift his weight to keep in front of him, and he's done it.
Big hack right there by Millar. A couple of years ago, Millar was a cleanup hitter in the big leagues for the Baltimore Orioles. That kind of seemed like it was by default. But he set an Orioles team record. He reached base 52 games in a row that year at one point. Pull hitter. That made him seemingly a pretty good fit, not only in Baltimore, but in Boston before that.
Still remember the day Millar took the field for practice in Tom Brady's uniform.
Yeah.
Or a replica Tom Brady uniform.
He is out there where the buses don't run sometimes, Mr. Millar. Gonna foul one back into the crowd. But when he's playing first base, when the opposition gets a base runner there at first, pretty much everybody says that's just a totally enjoyable guy to have a conversation with. Hammered into left field, base hit. And the Blue Jays now will load him up with nobody out. This gets very tricky. That's a shame. He had him 0-2, just couldn't finish him off. Looks like we'll have a pinch runner now. Millar is out. Looks like McDonald will come in. And Ron Washington is out to the mound. Darren O'Day try to get his MacGyver shoes on here. Try to figure out a way out of this. 4-3 Toronto already. And the Rangers trying to minimize any further potential damage. Back in just a moment. Texas Rangers acquired off waivers from the New York Mets in this drop-down side-arming one-time college walk-on as part of a very good Ranger bullpen right now. We know all about Frankie Francisco, but with Frankie probably unavailable again tonight, we'll look at the guys that have been picking up the slack.
Well, you add those numbers up, you've got an ERA under 1 and an opponent's batting average under 2. All three of those guys have done a great job. Frankie's only given up 1 run all year.
The Rangers will be looking to come home with this baseball. If they're looking to turn a double play, it's going to be somebody to Saltalamacchia and then to first base. And Rod Barajas, the former Texas Ranger, 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, it's unlikely that Barajas will walk. He's only walked 8 times. He has 167 at bats.
The comebacker would be beautiful here. Little Lawrence Welk action, a 1, a 2, a 3.
I heard Dave Campbell say that about 10 years ago. The Lawrence Welk double play. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. That's pretty good. I don't know if he's the first one that ever said it. He's the first one I heard say it.
Lawrence Welk or Dave Campbell?
Dave Campbell.
Oh, got it.
Can't say that I ever watched a full Lawrence Welk show.
No, I'd always get about 6 minutes long, and that was it. Little pop-up. Saltalamacchia calls and catches. Now you can get a double play of any form and be okay.
Well, Darren has been just pinpoint with his control. The pitches that he threw in Boston to get those tough hitters in the middle of the lineup was just a thing of beauty. He was throwing pitches pretty much exactly where he tried to throw. A good battle right here. Scudero will take a walk.
Absolutely. This guy, as we've said, has been on base as often as Albert Pujols this year. Doesn't hit for that kind of power, but he's a tough guy to get.
Scudero's made 1 error all year long. He leads the league in runs. His on-base percentage is over 40% now. He's had 2 hits to right field in this game. He struck out twice on called third strikes that, according to the tracker, were slightly out of the strike zone. And on both of them, he looked at the umpire. He didn't argue with the umpire, but you could tell that he didn't like either call. And they were very close, but they were actually balls, which shows you he's got a pretty good idea what the strike zone is.
That one is feathered outside. A very dangerous Aaron Hill on deck.
Scudero in over 2,000 at bats coming into the season, a lifetime 260 hitter, and a lifetime 325 on base percentage.
Man, look at that. Just guides it into right. A run's going to score, but only one, as Nelly Cruz goes and gets it very quickly. 5-3 Toronto now. That run charged to Jennings.
And look at the guy whose batting average right now is about 40 points higher than normal. His on-base percentage is about 75 points higher than average. You talk about a guy having a breakout season. It would be Scudero. He had a pretty good year for the Blue Jays last year. He played every day. Knocked in 60 runs. Walked almost as much as he struck out. But even in that good year he had last year, his on-base percentage was 34%. Now it's over 40%.
That is base hit number 12 for Toronto tonight. The Blue Jays lead the American League in base hits. Infield in a bit at the corners for Hill, who's going to take outside. Now it makes the comeback a little bit more problematic now. Hard hit ground ball, barely foul. These Toronto Blue Jays started the year 27-14. But they're just 5-13 since then. 9-game road losing streak, but up by a couple of runs tonight. Punched in a right. Nelson Cruz will load it up. He's got it. He plants and he's firing towards third base. It's cut off by Andrews. It is 6-3. Both runs charged to Jason Jennings here in the inning. The Rangers just couldn't get that ground ball from Scudero or from Hill. I think if you go back to reconstruct the inning tag, the 3-1 count to Roland, then a 3-1 count to Overbay just kind of set both those first two at bats up for advantage Toronto. Now Rios with a double last inning. His only hit so far. Remember, that is Andrew Jones now at first. And that's not a position he has played a lot. Though he plays it willingly.
He likes playing there. Says it's easy and a lot of fun. He's a good athlete, talented guy. I remember the first time I played first base, I was scared to death.
Were you really?
Yeah, I didn't think I could catch the ball from the pitcher when he threw it over there. Didn't know where to go. Andrew, very relaxed as a first baseman, although he hasn't played there before.
That one slides outside.
For a lot of us who played the outfield, there was a reason. Get as far away from the action as you could. Have plenty of time to decide what to do with the ball and how to catch it.
I thought it was because you gazelles belonged out there in the meadow where you could romp.
That's another way of looking at it. Personally, that was not the case with me.
Very quiet crowd. Been a long inning. Let's say, I'm sure you've been asked this before, but is there one? They didn't have top 10 plays back when you played, I know, but was there a catch you made where had they had that, you just know you would have been #1 play of the day?
I think there might have been a couple, yeah. And really, no matter whether you're a good outfielder or a bad outfielder, there comes a time where you dive for a ball and catch it. Now, a really good outfielder might have caught it standing there waiting for it, but the fact that it took a little longer to get there.
You ever have the full-on Jim Edmonds diving backwards over?
No, I never had that one. Sideways, maybe. Just like a slow runner. Slow runner's going to get nipped at first base frequently, so he could still have close calls.
3-2 the count now. The Blue Jays with 3 2-run innings tonight. The Rangers with 1 3-run inning tonight. How about crashing through a wall like Rodney McCray in Portland, Oregon? You ever do that?
No, I never did that. And I can't believe he did it. How did that? I can't even believe how that happened.
Right through the value pack sign.
I played in a couple of parks in the South Atlantic League that had cinder block walls, so it'd be really not in your best interest to run into those walls.
You played against the Portland Beavers, though.
I did. I got tackled at home plate by the Beaver.
Writing that one down. 3-2 the count to Alex Rios.
We beat Portland that night like 24 to 5, I think it was.
You made it difficult on the Beavers,
well,
did you?
Actually, Tommy Sant, the second baseman, came in to pitch. And so you can't, try to make an out. Anyway, I hit a grand slam off Tommy Sant late in the game to make it 22-4. And when I got to home plate, the mascot, the Portland Beaver, and he was huge too. He jumped on top of me and wouldn't get off. I won't say what I was screaming at him, but I'm lying in the dirt at home plate with this thing on top of me, and he wouldn't leave. Finally, probably it was about 10 seconds. Felt like about 10 minutes. Finally, he left. So I bet you that never happened to you.
No, I never had that kind of issue with the mascot. Anywho, here's Vernon Wells, and he will take a strike. Boy, the Rangers need to find a way to get out of this, get to hitting in the bottom of the ninth. On the ground near third, that is foul. Again, the Rangers will have Saltalamacchia, Andrews, and Kinsler coming up. Setting up Young and Blaylock and potentially Nelly Cruz with those 17 home runs. Darren O'Day delivers. In the air, left field, Murphy coasting. He's got it. One last chance for the Rangers tonight. 6-3 Toronto, bottom of the ninth coming up. Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. And by your Texas Ford dealers, check out the all-new F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. Rangers are home for 19 of their next 25. A chance to really get going in a season where they're already going along just fine. But tonight, a little bit of a dip in the road. Toronto's got a 6-3 lead. And Brandon League continues out there on the mound. There's a change in left field for Toronto. We'll show you that in just a moment. Saltalamacchia takes down too low. Or, excuse me, Downs rather than that League out there. Scott Downs. Joe Inglet is the left fielder. In for Adam Lind, who's got a pair of two-run homers tonight. Downs misses one more time, 2-0. Rangers will need a second 3-run inning. They had one of those in the sixth. Pounded out of play by Saltalamacchia. The Rangers do not have a home run tonight. They've been hitting so many, especially here at home this year, but the way that Casey Jansen was throwing his slider early. And as we've talked about, whoever the relievers are for Toronto, they're all pretty much known for keeping the ball in the yard. It's going to be a tough night for the home run. rally caps. And Ranger fans hoping that something can be ignited right here. Three and 2 to Saltalamacchia. And again, the same two teams go at it tomorrow night. A 7:05 first pitch on May 27th. Doug Mathis will step into the rotation, at least for now. Again, Brandon McCarthy going to be out for a while. We learned that Josh Hamilton is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Matt Harrison hoping to come back soon. Drilled out of play. We mentioned the Tigers won the first one against the White Sox today 5-4. The White Sox took the nightcap 6-1. It ended up being a complete game 2 hitter for Jose Contreras. Salty draws the walk.
Only the 4th walk all year for Downs.
Yeah, and Salty doesn't draw him that often.
Downs has pitched over 24 innings, and that's only his 4th walk, but a good start. Giving up 1 home run this year in 24 innings.
B.J. Ryan has really had a tough season for Toronto. He's a very high-paid closer. Was supposed to be the closer. He's allowed runs in 3 of his last 6 games. Remember when the Rangers saw him, they were able to rally against him, and they shipped him right off to the DL right after that. That was a Michael Young home run that pretty much sent him to the DL. The tying man on deck. Most of the fans have hung around. That top of the 9th inning seemed to take forever. And yes, Toronto tacked on a couple of runs, but there's still a feel-good vibe here tonight. Apparently we're all going swimming after the game. Drilled, center field, base hit. Kinsler's coming up. Are we sure that Andrus is 20?
Well, like Ian, hitting in this kind of a situation, down by 3 runs, couple of men on. His slugging percentage against left-handed pitchers is over 700. He loves hitting this ballpark, and he loves hitting against left-handed pitchers. This is a situation you want to be in, especially with no outs. Got a chance for a bunch of guys to come up as the tying run.
Downs is at 1-0. No action in that Toronto bullpen. Kinsler already with 15 home runs. And works the count in his favor, 2-0. Kinsler, a high drive left field.
Boy, just got underneath it. And Downs keeps the ball down, and he kept that ball down, but Ian likes to elevate the ball. You really can't throw it low enough for him not to do it. It's a strike. It's in the strike zone. He just got underneath it a little bit. More of an uppercut than he wanted. He's upset with himself, but he knows he didn't come that far from tying the ball game.
The Rangers roster collectively has 59 at-bats now against Downs and no home runs. In fact, the only Ranger to have even one double against him is this guy. And he's got 3 of them. Wave and a miss. Michael, the rare 0 for 4 at home. Came in tonight hitting .373 in this ballpark this year. Michael's had a propensity for late inning drama. We're a little past a third of the way through this 2009 season, and the guy with the most big hits late has been Michael Young. Slowly hit near third. Rollins got it. Trying to find the bag. He does. So now it's up to Hank Blaylock. And again, it's just so tough to drive the ball for power against Downs. They got the rally caps, but not really the rally faces. Got to believe in the hammer here. Hank Blaylock with Nelly Cruz on deck. Quick strike to Hank. Blaylock does have a single and a walk tonight. The Rangers have 9 hits tonight. But right now, 6-3 Toronto. Rangers down to their final out. Blaylock sends it into left center field. Vernon Wells is after it. He's got it on the run, leaving Nelly Cruz on deck. The Blue Jays beat the Rangers 6-3, and a ball that just couldn't slice away quickly enough. So the Rangers drop the opener. There are still 3 more games to be played in this series against Toronto. And again, your final here tonight is 6-3. Rangers Live is straight ahead. Evan Grant is standing by with Dana Larson. Dana?
Josh and